Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, Chanel. Chanel, shut up. Shut up, shut up. Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, Chanel. Shut up, shut up. Shut up, shut up, Chanel. Shut up, shut up. Shut up, Chanel.
Oh my God. She is a music artist. She is a drag queen. She is an international drag con and West Hollywood legend. No other than my sister, Miss Rhea Litre. Hello, Rhea. Welcome to the pod.
Drags Baddest Bitch in the house. How is it going on the Shut Up Chanel podcast?
Oh my God, so much better now that I got you here.
I always say like I'm a season 1 girl. Like every time somebody does a podcast, they always call Rhea Litre for season 1. Pull the dicks out.
Pull the dicks out. Oh my God, I haven't heard you say that in so long. Well, okay, so when I started this podcast, I thought in my head, like, how do I want to do this? Like, how do I want to have guests on? And I really wanted to kind of like start at the beginning of my journey. And so each guest I've had so far is kind of like in a timeline structure of when they kind of entered my life and kind of my journey throughout the LGBTQIA plus experience that I've had.
BB before breasts.
Yeah. Wait, what was that again?
BB before breasts.
Before breasts. Exactly. And you, oh my God, every guest I've had on so far has known me before boobs. So that says something. Yeah, I've been like going through each queen and like their impact in my life. And I got to the part of the story where Rhea Litre comes in, and you really are right at the beginning of the journey. When I had Raja on, we talked about, the night that she took me to Dreamgirls. I kind of want to go back and I just want your story of like, how did we meet? What is your first memories? How did the two of us meet each other?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I met you walking down the dark alley behind Rage. But I had just had like the craziest weekend. We're like this like green, sweet, innocent girl with no breasts. And Delta and Chad and Raja were in the back alley, and I was walking past and I met you, and the first story I had to tell was that one because it had just happened. And your face, you were like, what was your impression when you first met me in the alley, girl?
Well, literally, that's the exact, like, I have this literal image of me walking because for those that don't know, like and when I was going to the Dreamgirls shows, we would go through the back alley because if you knocked on the back door of the girls' dressing room was attached to the alley. So if you like knocked really loud on the back door, then one of the queens would hear you from the dressing room and they would know it was like Raja or Rhea or someone like that. So Raja was like, let's go to the back door and go in that way. And I love a backdoor entrance. So I was excited. And as we're there waiting at the door for Delta to come and get us, we see you walking down the alley, and Sutan was like, oh my God, that's my daughter, Rhea. I can't wait for you to meet her. And you walk up and it was just like, it wasn't like, hey, who's your friend? It was like right into story. And it's like, girl, let me tell you about my night last night. And I was just like, fuck yeah. Like, I loved it. Like, that's what I loved in the beginning, is that like, everything surprised me. I didn't know anything that anyone was talking about. It was just kind of like sit there and like absorb everything that you're hearing.
And you absorbed, honey, because let's just talk about the glow up you had that year alone. You could tell like, oh, if you went back into your history, you could tell like, oh, this is when Chanel started hanging out with gay people.
I love that so much because like you do like you'll do see that like on like, a TV show, they'll be like, God, she just really needed a gay friend, and like, why do you think that is? I mean, I know why, but why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of the brutal honesty that gay men give to women?
Absolutely. I mean, the brutal honesty we'll give to each other. I'll just say, Philip knows for a fact, the second she starts getting thick, I'm going to tell her. You know what I mean? Like I will start being like, oh, catch my sister. And it's all because we care about each other. If we're not giving you critiques, and if we're not like, trying to make you grow, especially in your beauty, because we are drag queens and it means everything to us, then you're really not going anywhere fast, because you have to learn these things from queens and gay people, because we are, number one, going to be harsh.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be correct.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start doing all those little tricks and things, you'll turn back and you'll be like, girl, thank you so much.
Well, I also had this like epiphany the other day where it's like I came from like young girl world where it's like, one, either the groups of girls are trying to like mimic one another because like they're around, it's just like we're all kind of mimicking each other. But like within the queen world, it's really kind of like making you the best version of yourself. Like you're not trying to mimic each other, like you're trying to help each other become the best versions of yourself, if you will.
I mean, well, the key is to not give away all the tricks. I like to tell people not to moisturize. I like to tell people, don't, no primer, girl. Just put it straight on that bare skin, honey, and then not give anyone any skin treatment remedies. It's kind of shady. You want to give them a little bit, but not too much.
Don't moisturize is hilarious. So that night, so yeah, and it's so weird because Dreamgirls, like I didn't even realize how much of like a pivotal, like of a that's where a lot of my story kind of unveiled. Like a lot of the stories all stem from Dreamgirls. I was even interviewing Sonique, and I forgot that she was a part of the Dreamgirls. Mm-hmm. That's where like I met Detox for the first time. And I think that's where I like really started to just like understand WeHo nightlife, in a sense that like that's all I did. Like every week I knew that I could show up to Dreamgirls on a Tuesday and that there would be like-minded people there that love drag like me. And that's kind of where I started meeting people like outside of just like the drag bubble that I was in. But you were like the biggest connector. Like I think you were the first queen to teach me family, in a sense, to where I learned family structure through like Raja telling me like you were her drag daughter, but I didn't understand like chosen family until I met you.
Well, yeah, because I have really like created a family in nightlife. And when you were going out with Raj and stuff, it was more like going to the Dream Girls, going to the show, kind of doing that thing. But then when you started coming to Make Out Mondays, and you started coming to Cheer Lounge, and you started coming to all of those places where there was more of a sense of moving around and mingling and making community and making friends, that's when you really, really started to thrive. I feel like that's where we like would meet at the Friendship Tree at Here Lounge, and see and like really kind of create our queer family, as opposed to just like going and seeing and admiring a drag show. You were actually in the cut of it.
Exactly. You kind of like, you took me from like backstage, like into kind of like the actual like nightlife hosting, like the who's who of WeHo.
Threw you straight in the fire, mama. Girl, I could not with you. Then you were hosting at BFF, and then you were hosting at Avita, and I was like, oh, so now she's coming for our gigs.
Said that. You were like, bitch, I didn't introduce you to WeHo so you could take my gigs.
Girl.
Okay, I like we have so many layers to our friendship, but like I really do. So like I remember like what was it that like made you want to include me in your world? Because you also even told me like the story of we also had a group, like our chosen family back in the day was called Oh Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Yeah? Yeah. which we got from Raja and Delta, by the way.
We got that from their and they got it from a porn, and then we saw it on I think it was like a WoW thing or something. Wasn't there something like on YouTube where they were being interviewed, and we just took that and ran with it? But I also got to give a shout out to our original Oh Yeah members. It was like, okay, so let's see. It was Colby Melvin, Brody Brown, Mike Munich, Stephen Deller, Chanel Perillo, Rhea Litre, Marco,
Courtney Act, Devin Uribe. I know that there was like some controversy about Aluja.
That was controversial.
She's gonna kill me. Didn't we give her?
And sis, you agree it was controversial?
You agree, Aluja was controversial. Didn't we gift Aluja and Bo Byron one together, like out at the nightclub? And by gift, I mean we even had like dog tags that we made that we would wear out to the club.
Oh my God, did we see? That's where we went wrong. That's where we gave falsas esperanzas.
What does that mean?
False hope.
Okay, perfect. This is it. Like, is it como se dice? On this episode of Como se dice, there's people that we're forgetting. We even had back in the day. There was remember Facebook? You could have like Facebook groups, and I think that's kind of how it started because you guys had like a Facebook group, and you started posting like all the it was just like a group chat. It was before group chats. Group chats weren't a thing. You like Facebook group chatted. And I remember one night you were like, I'm going to add you to the Facebook group. And I was so excited. And then remember I got like two of the other girls.
She's always been stirring the pot. Well, these Facebook groups were kind of like shady. Talk shit about people, or we would clock people. Or we would be like, or it would be like, what are we doing tonight? Or I'm doing this gig tonight. And we would all tell each other the gigs.
That's really how it like, that was kind of like how I began promoting too, because I would post and like I'm going to be at Avita tonight and you guys would all come to support. And that.
I think that it was, I think that if you can still access the group, if you wanted to. I think
we might have made it like super private because there was some like
there was a leak,
some controversial stuff on there, and there was a leak. So but like what like, and how did you kind of put our chosen family together? Like, how did that all come about? Because I was young and drunk and forgot.
Marco tells this story the best because he is the best storyteller, but. There was one night that we were all at the clubs and we were looking for an afters, and I specifically picked and chose certain people and invited them all over to Stephen Deller's house, which was also known, AKA, as the Onyx Hotel.
Yes, God.
And we're all sitting there. Everyone was getting along. I think there was like 12 to 14 people there, and nobody knew each other. Everyone only knew me. And people started to figure that out. And they're like, what the fuck? You like orchestrated? I'm like, oh yeah, girl, have fun, bitch. Have a drink, meet some friends, blah, blah, blah. Cut to 3 months later, we're all doing the same thing every single night at Stephen Deller's. Like, it didn't matter if it was a Dream Girls Tuesday, or if it was a Stripper Circus Wednesday, or there was Touch Thursdays at the Abbey, or Hype Fridays, or whatever was going on Saturdays, or Sunday Fun Day. Didn't matter. We all ended up at the Onyx Hotel until like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that really solidified us as a core in Anya.
It really did. Jenza and Sam were also a part of I'm remembering names now as we go, because I have these images of Jenza and I, like with our work clothes, like at the after, because we never missed work. Like, I would say that like such good things about our group in a sense that like we were just young and really enjoying life together and all making shit happen. Like, we were all finding our paths, and I don't know, it was such a beautiful time. Like, I could cry thinking about it sometimes because I just like, I had never felt so like seen and loved and like, and people that I just wanted to spend every moment with, like of every hour, of every day.
And I think that that's really important that you said that. Literally, we were all like hustling. We were all working. We were all on our paths. We were, I was in drag 6 nights a week, working on my career, doing music. uh, Steven Deller was dancing every fucking night at the bars. Marco was really starting to blow up on the drag scene, upon custom clothes for celebrities. And it was just like a really, really magical time when we all got together. And I'm actually shocked we're all still friends.
I know. I know. I feel like if anything, like I've lost touch with some of Aya, but it's like we'll all be friends like forever.
I'm talking about Steven Deller a lot because he was such a huge part of Aya in that moment, and I hadn't seen Steven for like 3-4 months, and then I just saw him last week, and it was like no time had passed.
No time. I ran into him at Pump, and I like literally, and he looks so fucking good. Oh my God. And I invited him to Marco's show. So it's going to be like such a reunion when we're in New York together.
Yes, we were calling it a Rhea union.
Oh, Rhea union?
Yeah.
Yes, this is a Rhea union. No, you just bring people together. I think that is like a skill. I think that's why you're probably like great at events, and in PR and just at like marketing yourself is like you really are good at bringing people together. And why the fuck is my phone still going off when it's on Do Not Disturb? I just feel like without you, like I like just so many firsts in my life. My first time doing poppers, I think, was with you. My first time falling in love with a go-go dancer was with you. How
you swooped in and stole my apartment from Raja?
Oh my God, let's totally talk about that because Raja and I talked about how we ended up living in the same apartment at one time, and I totally forgot that I stole it from you. So yeah, like I was going to Weho every fucking night of the week, and I had this feeling that after Drag Race, or not after Drag Race, but like I felt like eventually Raja was going to grow out of her tiny apartment that was like the size of a closet, and so I.
Nothing like, but it was perfect, bitch. I was fucking bright-eyed for that apartment for so long. And I'll never forget the day that Raja was like, I have something to tell you. Chanel's taking the apartment. I was like, but I'm glad we kept it in the family because I still got to visit.
You did more than visit. You were there like every night with me. I feel like we even after hours in there before together, like hosted people, and it was like literally the size of a closet.
Well, I used to like to come over and then go next door to Six and have her. She was all cracked out, fucking making me rope costumes and like dyeing my hair. I had the best time because I got to come hang out with you, and then I would leave Six's house looking the most fabulous I've ever looked ever with fucking huge ropes hanging off my body.
Oh my God. Yeah, Six actually made my first Evita look that I ever wore.
No one does it like Six, girl. She could take 2 pieces of yarn and make you a crocheted bodysuit in 2 seconds. It's crazy.
Well, since then you've like continued to take over nightlife. I used to make the joke that once like Detox left LA, Rhea took the crown. Mm-hmm. And you've continued to kind of take the crown. But how did you, because I don't know life before that night that we met in that alleyway. Like, I know you were on American Idol. I know that you did PR, but like, what got you into drag? Like, was it Lady Gaga?
I mean, I think Gaga was like an inspiration to really take it a little bit further. But like my biggest inspirations were seeing drag queens. Like I remember the first time I saw Raven. I remember the first time I saw Mayhem. I remember the first time I saw Flava. And I just thought that they fucking were amazing. And I wanted to know more about it. So knowing me, if I want to know something, I'm going to go fucking figure it out. Mm-hmm. So I went to and sought after a drag mother and did a drag competition. I got 2 drag mothers that night, Raja and Mayhem. And I just like took that love that I got on stage and I used that to fuel me to get more of it. And I didn't stop. And I was working in PR at the time. I was there for 9 years with Phil Lobel at Lobeline Communications, doing PR for David Copperfield, Blue Man Group, Lea Salonga, Bill Gaither Homecoming Tour, Lip Bizarre Stallions, and of course, like the gay places like the Abbey and Jeffrey Sinker and Dinah Shore. And that really got my foot in with nightlife. And then when it really started taking off, I was like, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to really 100% into drag and see where it goes. And, fast forward to 2012, I'm recording, music with Willem and touring the world. So I feel like I worked really hard to get to where I had to go at that place at that time.
I love that. I also think like it's our connection really, like, I don't think I could have ever done the Marco shows without you either, because I feel like going back to the theme of family, like everything that like I've ever done in my career, like I feel like especially drag related, like I feel like I always go to you, one, for advice, two, like you're just so good at everything you do. Like I don't think people realize that like you're so much more than like a drag queen. Like you really are a producer.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I really enjoy producing and like seeing the ideas and of myself and everyone else like really come to fruition. And that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. Produce things and get all those pieces together and make sure that they flow. And that's something that I pride myself in. I pride myself on is just really trying to cross my T's and dot my I's, especially when it comes in entertainment, and also uplifting all of the people around me to create that community.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at one time
Gandhi or something, and I am just such a rock bitch at the same time. So don't think that I think that I'm the one, honey.
No. We're both unwell, but like we're good at our jobs. Yeah, I mean, there was this one point where like I feel like the synergy, is that the word I want to use? Like our vibrate, like we were the Abbey nightclub for like a good 4 years. There was like not a night where I don't feel like I knew everything that was going on that strip. Like from Abbey and up until like where Rocco's is now, where it was like we knew where everyone was at every bar, at every location, every dancer. Like it'd be like, the dancers that were missing or happened to be at, like I even knew where go-go dancers were at during the week.
See, I mean, this is where like I kind of bump heads with inclusivity because I feel like at that time our community was very sacred, and we were all very intertwined with each other, and we all like supported each other, and that's why we knew what was going on in West Hollywood all the time. That's why we knew every single bar. And now, I mean, things are very different. You go out in West Hollywood now, it's motherfucking Disneyland, bitch. It's like everyone is fucking balls to the wall. 500 bachelorette parties, 200 fucking straight guys trying to steal some pussy off the street and steal cell phones. And like, it's just like, it's not the safe place that we experienced back in the day. So like, and now I don't even want to know what everything is going on. I don't even care. You want go do whatever's going on at the Abbey, girl. Go ahead, girl. I ain't stepping foot in that place. You know what I mean?
It's so different. And it's weird because I remember having a moment like really thinking like I would spend the rest of my life there. Like knowing the bathroom attendants life story to like, and it's weird how chapters come and go and nothing stays forever. And I think that's something I've learned, but the memories do, and like the people do, and that, we'll always have that. Something else, like, I mean, we even used to have a Weho Awards. Wasn't it your award show?
No, so we had the Weho Awards that used to be Anthony Cortez. And then we had the Weho Confidential Awards, which was Lucas John. And then we had the Top Awards, which was mine. So I would get everybody an award that said best top newcomer, best top drag queen, best top, whatever. But that was fun, dude. Girl, I'm bring back, honey. I love giving my friends gifts.
I really miss getting awards, so I would I would love
Best new podcast.
Best new podcast. Oh my god, that would be so sweet. And I'm really glad that like I have been able to, you know, there are some like there are some beautiful things that have come out of like this shift, you know, like there is a new generation of us, which like I'm embracing. Like, you know, my drag daughter JC O'Day, like she'll tell me things like you did the blueprint for me. And that like makes me want to cry sometimes because like I didn't even know that I was doing anything at the time. You know what I mean? And to see that I made like an impact on this like young girl.
See, I pick and choose because the girls saying like they come up to me, but I'm not someone that lets people in very easy at all. I make my love language is acts of service. I need to know that you are like part of it and in it with me.
Well, here's the deal. I was literally just telling Sonique this is that there's certain people that could compliment me and make my skin crawl. And like, I just feel super uncomfortable and I just like want to get out of there. But then there's certain people like I was saying, like JC said some shit to me that like normally if a normal person would tell me that, I would be like, you're so fucking annoying. But I've watched this girl like work her way up to the level that she is at now. She has been the handler. She has been quiet. She has been the hold the bag for the drag queen girl. Like she's really like laying the groundwork for herself, you know? And so those are the people I respect.
Shout out to JC O'Day for even working the lights at Makeout Mondays, girl.
Oh my God, look at these beautiful flowers she got me. So notes on being a good drag daughter. Oh my God, I love it. Then after, okay, so we like developed this family. We kind of like took over West Hollywood nightlife for a while. I mean, that's even kind of where, you know, all of us kind of started. Like I was still casting at the time, but I started to get into nightlife. I broke into like hosting parties. Marco started doing underwear. We kind of like started this whole, like, that's kind of when the Marco show kind of like came off the ground. And we all wanted to do something where we could work together.
Have you talked about how Marco started making underwear?
No, why don't you tell us?
Oh my God. Okay, so the reason Marco started making underwear is because he was already a sickening, fucking revered costume designer in all of Hollywood. I mean, he was already doing he was doing Fergie, Black Eyed Peas, he did like Beyonce. I mean, like everybody.
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like everyone.
J-Lo, like going off. And our friend Devin was the entertainment director and booked all the dancers at the Abbey and stuff. And so Devin was like, bitch, we're going to make, like, Marco, will you make underwear for the dancers? And he was like, yeah, fuck, I'd love to like do that, because Marco was like so excited to do something like queer and gay and nightlife and fun and less like the stress of Hollywood. So he's like, yes, I want to do this. He did that for all of the Abbey for like 3-4 months, and then he started getting requests for underwear, and that's when Marco started mass producing underwear. Producing anything, because he only did custom stuff. So this is the first time that he started mass producing stuff, and so the Abbey was like a huge part in that. So you know, putting out underwear. And
well, I mean, and before that, I mean, there was like Andrew Christian, like videos and stuff, but no one was having dancers with all matching sickening underwear, like talking costume Britney Spears quality, not, you know, nice cotton, like performance wear. I think Marco changed the game on making, like, because he had done tons of Vegas shows on top of all the pop stars. And again, this is his story to tell, but I think we're really good at telling it. So I think he'll be proud of us. But I don't think anyone at the time, especially in the gay, you know, scene, was making these high end, like, performance wear go-go dancing outfit, let alone the jock straps, let alone, you know what I mean? He really changed the game. He changed the game in the go-go dancing world.
100%. And nobody was doing that. And then, you know, when the fashion show came out and then he had all the queens on the fucking stage with all the go-go dancers, it was literally drag queens and go-go dancers.
And gay porn stars, which literally is such, like, are the matriarchs of the gay community. You know what I mean? and trans women. And it's just weird. That's how I know it was like all meant to happen, or like we were following the universe's path or whatever. It was so synced because it was like I was leaving Drag Race. I was like, I knew it was coming. Marco was leaving Drag Race. We knew that was coming. We had just started hanging out with you, like really getting into West Hollywood nightlife, because he was so used to being on on tours and stuff like that. It was like the first time he was settled in LA for a minute. And we were hanging out with go-go dancers and drag queens, and he got offered this amazing fashion show opportunity. So it was kind of just like this moment. I had just become friends with Matthew fucking Anderson, who was like my ride or die, like with or without RuPaul's Drag Race. I had access to like the best of the best drag queens. Everyone was in LA during that time, or like was a quick shoot away. So it just like kind of all happened at the perfect time. I was already like seeing everyone on like it's just so weird how perfectly it kind of all meshed together. And then I had just met Magnus Hastings through Courtney Act, who like was a photographer. So then he did the photography for the first show, like it just like, it really was a group effort. You know what I mean?
It was, the universe was really allowing us to find our paths and what we wanted to do. And that era was just so important for all of us. And I feel like that era is why we are still solidified today. And because we worked so hard during that moment when we were supposed to, that we're foundated.
Oh my God, I love that. We are foundated.
I wish a motherfucker would try to take a job.
You really taught me how to like fucking let loose too. Like, I mean, I was a party girl in high school, end years in high school. And like, I had my LA Hollywood, like those early, being 20 years old in Hollywood years before I met the gays, which that's what some people listen to this and think I must have been like an ogre before I met drag queens. And like, I wasn't.
Fresh off the boat from like, just imagine like your best friend in your junior year of high school. That was Chanel.
No one has awkward stages anymore, though. I think I was like the last of the awkward stages because they all have drag queens. See, before the internet, like I didn't have YouTube or Instagram or like, I didn't have that. All I had was like what was around me. And now that I was still like cute though. Like I still got guys, but like the confidence that I got after drag queens.
Like, right. It was a different era. There wasn't YouTube and stuff like that. So, women now look a certain way by the time they hit 16. They look like a fucking Kardashian. You know what I mean? So you didn't have that back then. You didn't know that. And let's be real, Kardashians were not the fucking creators of contour and all this shit. It was drag queens. And so before that, like, when you got to meet us queens, girl, you were like, oh, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Because you know before.
No, and there really wasn't even a lot of other, like, I used to be able to count the other girls that were in West Hollywood with me. Like, that's kind of crazy to think back. And like, there was me, there was like Samantha Stevens, there was Dina
Malti,
there was Dirty Diana, who was like the like older sister at the time, you know what I mean, who hated me. But now we're good. Shout out to Diana.
Diana.
She's in P-Town somewhere right now.
It's still 4th of July for her.
Get out of here. It is. But like it really, and I think, and back, the Detox app, I have interviewed Detox and that episode, I mean, she recounted everything at the Onyx Hotel, including like times that she like, put gum in my hair and like really.
Well, Detox and Vicky were just the rawest to you. They were they really showed you tough love.
That's what it was. It was like, it was like a hate. And Detox used to be like this, you know, you don't just get to hang out with us. She would say the F word. And like, you have to you have to pay the price. You have to see what we went through, you know, like she considered it like a hazing. I'll never forget one night Courtney Act being like, Chanel, maybe you should get some new friends.
Maybe wait, what?
Maybe you should get some new friends. Like they're really mean to you.
Yeah, but you know what? I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly what it was because it's also if they didn't say shit to you and didn't acknowledge you, that was the bigger. That would have been the bigger issue. But the fact that they were fucking with you, you're literally their little sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you really like have to like look at it like it takes like reading and shade is like an art form. And if someone is taking the time to cleverly come up with ways to fucking
well, let's not give them too much credit. It was not always clever. And there were times where I would tell them to stop. Like, if you guys need to leave her alone, you know, I would start feeling bad. And she's like, it should be fine. She'll be fine.
That was literally her. Yeah, I mean, there were times, but you know what? Like it was all like a learning experience. And now, like, I mean, now it's like we can openly talk about it and it is so different. Like we really have matured and got older and I really am like grateful that they had that you all did give me the tough up. You were always the nice one though. Like you've always been the girl that like, you know, when I'm having a bad day, like I will be on the couch crying. And for some reason you get this like, need like this want to call me and I'll be like Rhea and I'll cry to you and you'll just tell me how beautiful I am and it makes me feel so much better.
Well, I have a want and need, especially for women that I care about in our community, to go out of my way to do those things for them because as gay men can get really, you know, in our own worlds and not do those things because we're not trying to be with women, so we forget how to treat them sometimes. So I always try to like make sure my girls are good and you know it's pretty fucking good.
No, yeah, and like you've always treated the women in your life like as how they want. Like I don't know. I think girls have this image in their head of like what their gay best friend is going to be like. You know what I mean? Especially now with it in the media and stuff. Like I had no reference, like except like my best friend's wedding. But like great reference. But like now, you know, girls have something to base up, but I think in their head they think, you know, the gay bestie is just gonna be this like friend that's gonna like tell me how beautiful I am and like take me to fun stuff. And like you really do give that. Like you bring like I will
open the door. I will hold your hand.
Oh,
you're very rare that I'll let a girl pick up the tab too, you know, for at dinner or something. You know, I just feel like and those are things that I normally don't get to do either. So it's actually really it's good for me too because it makes me feel good to do that because I don't have a lot of girlfriends. So to take care of the women in my life.
And now you've kind of built a whole new drag family. Like I kind of want to talk about new age Rhea. And so like we've kind of grown up and now we're kind of starting our own little families, I guess. Like really, like we are. Tell me about your new family.
It's so crazy. I have my house of Litre. I have 10 children, boys and girls. And they're all incredible and they are loud and they all have personalities and it's a lot. I am a fucking single mother of 10 of a lot of big personalities. It's crazy. But I love it. My son Jojo Guads is killing it on the nightclub scene. Like I don't know one of his parties that is not packed to the door with the line out of it. Check him out, Jojo Guads, Prince of Twerk. You can't miss him.
He'll be on the pod. He'll be on the pod
soon. Oh God, I can't wait to. I'm gonna have to listen to that on mute.
I don't think anyone's ready.
Yeah, you better put captions on that bitch.
I haven't drank yet before an episode, but like I might need to before JoJo's.
And I got Nyx Litre, my daughter, who honestly I think single-handedly had a lot to do with bringing dragged back to West Hollywood after the pandemic, because she was there at Beaches doing the first brunch ever, like, and like turning those tables around and turning those shows around, and she's killing it now. I got Bibble, So Exotic. I got Sam Garfield, who's killing it in the music scene. You know, he's producing a lot of music, and he was in Aya as well. They're just all thriving, and it's my favorite. And they're all thriving in such a way that I've had to rebuild my nightlife team because they're out thriving doing their own stuff. So it's crazy. Like, I'm starting to feel really old these days because my kids are grown ass men now. You know what I mean?
No, I know. Like, Marco will talk about his kids at the studio, and they're like 29.
Dude,
I'm like 35. I'm like,
it's crazy. It's crazy. But you know what? That's how Raja looks at me. You know what I mean? You know?
Well, that's what I mean, that was a huge moment because, like, when I met Raja, she was 37 and I'm 37 now. And I remember thinking Raja was so old, Rhea. Like,
yeah. I remember I was old when I was like, when I was 20. Already icon, and this was before Drag Race. Like, a lot, like, Drag Race has put a lot of people on and given that platform, but Southern California Dream Girls were the pinnacle, and Raja specifically was like an icon in West Hollywood and LA already. To have an artist like Raja working like in San Diego, everything in Orange County and Riverside and LA, and doing that trek that long ago, like, she was booked.
And didn't drive.
And didn't drive.
That's what kills me. I don't know how she did it.
Girl, she had drag children.
No, exactly. Drag children. That's how you do it. You got to get by.
My next rule. It's my next rule for me to have a drag child. Do you have a car?
Oh my God. I also do have this one image in the beginning of our friendship. I think this was like even before, I think this was like right after there's that legendary picture that I post like once a year, and it's me, you, Detox, and Kiki Extravaganza in the photo. And I think it was Kiki Extravaganza's birthday, actually.
Yes, it was. I know exactly what it was on. It was off of Wilton, right next to where Doomies is now. What was that place called?
Yes. Yes. Adam Lambert had a birthday party there before.
Yes. And fun fact, the door bitch that did that party for Kiki's birthday stole all the money and left that night.
Oh my God.
I know.
That is crazy. That was the first night. I remember that night too. Raja, like, everyone laughed, and it was like the first time I had been like left alone. And I like called Raja crying. And that's when she was like, nope. We are not going to do this if we're going to be friends. She was like, you will not be calling me crying ever again.
Like, Raja.
She goes, you are a grown-ass woman. You could get in a taxi and go home alone.
I'll check her cab, 1-800-300-507.
Here you go. I feel like we were also like in other group. Like, we were like, were you a part of the Dynasty?
No.
Okay, I have a coworker that still makes fun of me being in the Dynasty.
Anything that I didn't create, I did not belong to.
Okay, how does one have 10 drag children, and what are you looking for when like adding, like, for someone listening that's never been added to a drag family or get how like it works, like, how does your process work? How does one become a Litre?
Mine is very different. A lot of queens just want kids to have kids to carry their name. For me, it's more about what they need. So I will meet, some young kids, and I'll watch them, and I'll see how they work. I'll see what their work ethic is like. I'll offer them jobs. I'll see how they do with that. And you really don't get into my house for at least 2 years, because I feel like you really don't get to know people. And a lot of people don't want to wait that long. And then to another house, and I'm like, see, go ahead. You know what I mean? People really be like looking at me like this backstage at Makeup Mondays, like waiting for me to ask them to be their daughter. And you don't ask me either. You don't ask me to be my drag daughter. I don't like that. It's all about.
Well, I like that you're saying work ethic because I think that's something like a lot of people wouldn't even think you're looking for because I think drag has like become this like idea that it's like all aesthetics when it's like so much more than that. And
No.
so what do you mean when you say work ethic?
To be a Litre, you got to be fucking personality down. You have to be life of the party. You have to be kind. You have to work hard. You have to work hard because I have worked hard to create what I have now. And if I'm going to give a piece of what I've worked for, you're going to know damn well that you're going to work for it too. I'm not in the business of giving handouts because I wasn't given any. So
I think that's what it is. I think that we had to work so hard. So when we see that in someone else, like and I know like that's why I asked that because I know exactly what you mean when you say work ethic. It's like the first time I saw Nyx Litre at Makeout Mondays at Foo Bar. I remember being like if Rhea puts her name on someone, it's because she's seen them work their fucking ass off. You know what I mean?
Nyx worked for me for 2 years as my assistant and stage managing my shows and everything for 2 years. And she asked me, "Is like, can I do drag?" No, you cannot. I've been training you for 2 years. And like Nyx is everything. She's very much like me. Like she likes to cross her T's and dot her I's. And so like she would like have my nails out ready for me. She would come over an hour before we got to work. She would have my outfit out laid out, blah, blah, blah. Like she would set me up. And so my fear was like, oh my God, you're going to do drag and you're going to leave me, which is exactly what fucking happened.
It always does. It always does.
Exactly what happened. But I'm glad that she started doing drag because her path in drag is so important to her and she loves her job so much. And I had to realize that I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose my son and my assistant. I gained a daughter, which is even better because she's going to be doing drag for a long time and she's put her heart and soul into it. And that's the kind of person that I want to hold my legacy.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. She's gonna cry when she hears that.
Shut up, Nyx.
Honestly, Nyx, people tell Nyx to shut up just as much as me. Like I see it in the studio. Like I see so much of myself in Nyx. So it's like very cute to watch. And like I've talked about like knowing like the key to being an assistant is anticipating the talent's needs. And like just by knowing that nails need to like all these things, like that's just like that's how you know someone's good at what they do. It's like thinking ahead.
She's very much still my assistant at my shows and stuff. When I show up, she'll have my drink tickets and she'll give them to me and she'll get the line for me. So she has taken all of the, education that she has learned through nightlife and is still applying it to this day. She does not have an ego. She's just fun and sweet and life of the party and puts on a fucking sickening show. So if you want to see Rhea Litre's daughter in full force, go find Nyx Litre.
Oh my God, I love you. You even supported me when you were at one point I was your manager for a minute. I mean, I did some bookings for you. You heavily believed in bent talent. My biggest thing, and like, I don't even know if I've even told you this, but like my problem because from the beginning, when I first started hanging out with the queens, everyone would always tell me, you should be their manager. You should be their manager. And so like, when you hear something over and over again, you just like think like, oh, like I should be that, whether like the passion's there or not. And my thing is like, my passion was always the queens and the talent and their careers and all that. But when it comes to money, like I am not a money person and you need to be a money person in order. And I think that's why my reign of drag queen bookings like had to fizzle because I found myself like just not liking it anymore, you know?
Detox and Vicky's tour with Willem in Australia. And when they treated you so mean that you didn't want to do it anymore. So I blame them.
those damn t-shirts.
Those t-shirts.
We talked about it. We talked about it on the pod. She had me, I brought it out and showed it to her.
Okay, so the funny thing is that like to this day, that box was like stolen.
So wait, yeah. So for the listeners, okay. So if you missed the Detox and Vicky episode, which I hope you didn't, we talk about there was this this drag queen merch of Vicky's that I fucked up, and she wouldn't take them. So for like 6 years, I had like 2,000 Vicky Vox t-shirts in my garage
that were stolen.
Yeah, after 5 years, they waited 5 years.
And then we'll see people walking down the street with those shirts on. It's so fucking funny. We told Vicky that they were good, but she wasn't having it.
She was not. It was really hard. And I just like I was so sick of I didn't want to let down another drag queen. I just I didn't want to end it. I just didn't ever want to hate drag. You know what I mean? And that's even why I took a break from nightlife in general, is because I just got too jaded. I didn't have that same excitement, and I wanted to have that same excitement that I had. You know what I meant? You know what I mean? So I just figured it was and doing this podcast again has reignited my love for all of you. So
here we go. Chanel Perillo hosting a summer tramp.
I do get, don't worry, I'm not taking your summer tramp gig. No, I think you're one of the best MCs ever. I was never an MC. I was just a straight girl that liked to dress up.
And look gorgeous and drink a bottle.
Yeah. Oh my God. So much fun. Honestly, you probably Rhea was the type of friend, if I thought any guy was hot, she was making sure that they were going home with me that night. You just
Swing girl. I am the best swing girl. All you have to do is point, bitch, because I do not give a F. I do not give a F at all. So I will go straight up to you ooh, what's your name? Girlfriend, look, there's someone you need to meet. And I will literally bring them straight to the person and put their hands together and walk the fuck away.
So what do you think's next for West Hollywood nightlife? What's next? Go on, tell me more.
No, West Hollywood nightlife is on fire right now. I know that you see in the press and you hear about all these things about the Abbey being sold and bought and that and stuff like that. But I know that I love what the Abbey represents, but let's be real. None of my bitches, none of the people that are in my true community even go there. So it's totally fine. Mm-hmm. I think Hollywood is going to thrive and go in a different direction. It is a lot more inclusive now. Mm-hmm. We have been fighting for, but let's not forget, we still have Heart, the fucking fiercest dance floor in all of West Hollywood. It has sickening lights. It's been there forever, the former Rage. Beaches West Hollywood is the most poppin' spot on the whole strip in West Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what night you go there, it is going to be going off. Rocco's is amazing. I throw 2 nights there on Mondays and Thursday nights. I got Mondays, Makeout Mondays, which is my iconic drag show. And then I have Glitter Tick Thursdays, which is more based on queer recording artists and porn stars and drag queens. And Mickey's thriving. They got Heat Thursdays with Marie Swanby and Scarlett Bobo, who just moved here to LA.
Mm-hmm. Love Scarlett. She's so sweet. You see, you always you just know the best people.
If you see someone around me, they've usually gone through my tests. You know what I mean? And so when I bring someone around and I'm introducing people to someone and they are, and even if you don't even fucking like me, bitch, you got to know that this person that I'm introducing you to is a hard worker, loves their job, and is fucking great at drag. And so anytime you see me with another queen like that, bitch, you know that bitch is the one.
Mm-hmm. What keeps you what keeps you motivated? What keeps you still excited? You're one person that I would always say you're not jaded. The little things excite you. 4 years ago, I think we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard, which you do every week. And you're look at us walking down Hollywood Boulevard, down the stars. And I'm Rhea, we've lived here 17 years. How are you still excited?
Well, because you have to remind yourself where you came from. And sometimes you got to look up and around you and be like, fuck yeah, I did that shit. You know? Mm-hmm. I don't find the little things exciting anymore. I find the big things exciting. Mm-hmm. That's my most favorite thing to look forward to in nightlife to this day are the new go-go dancers. Just to be back there and seeing all the new dicks swinging around just really keeps you motivated to throw parties in West Hollywood.
See, maybe that's why I just have been staying in so much.
See, girl, you need to come back to the backstage with me sometimes because it's been a while.
It's been a while. I know. I need to fall in love with the go-go dancer again. I mean, I'm not gonna say his name, but I used to like fall hard for the go-go's. I remember like getting ready to go out just to hope that like a certain go-go dancer would like, and like we were friends with all of them. So it was like this combination of like and there's something about a go-go dancer. It's like this they're in 15 minutes in between their sets, they could like come say hi to you and like you get like to have a moment and then they have to get back up and then you don't get to see them for like another couple hours and then like maybe we'll see each other at the end of the night. Like it was this cat and mouse game that I loved.
So did your excitement fizzle out once Quinn Jackson came over or after?
Oh my God, Quinn Jackson. I have the funniest story and I'm just going to tell it. So my girlfriend Brittany was visiting me from San Diego to like support me at, I think it was Rasputin. It might have been Rasputin or wait, no, it was a Luke and Andres party, but it was the one with like boats. What was it called? It was like boat themed. I remember I wore like a boat hat and like a nautical. It was nautical themed.
I forgot. I think it might have been was it like an Evita or something like that?
It was like just like Evita. I'll try to remember the name. It was like some fierce nautical, and I have a picture of it. But my girlfriend like came to visit, and Quinn Jackson was dancing, and we're like standing there, and I'm like, I used to hook up with that guy back in the day. And she's like, really? And I'm like, let me show you something. And I Google, you Google him because he's known for something. I can't believe I'm saying this. As I'm showing her the picture of his well-endowed physique, I get a tap on my shoulder and he's behind me watching me show her. It was so embarrassing. And I was like, I was just bragging. But it was
you probably loved.
You probably loved it. I know. But that's like, yeah, I used to have a thing for go-go dancers. And that's in part of you. Then that's in part of because of you and Detox, because you and Detox loved go-go dance. I mean, all drag queens love go-go dancers, but like the love that you and Detox used to have for go-go dancers and like
dating a go-go dancer at the time too. You know what I mean? Like we were very, very into the go-go dancer room and bringing our cute girlfriend in there. You know what I mean? And getting them horny and then pushing you out. You know,
totally what you did. I was the fluffer.
Yeah, you were the fluffer for sure.
Oh my God. Okay, good to know. I was gonna have us talk about the Frida Kahlo story, but should I save that for Marcos? Or should we talk about it?
So quick.
Yeah, let's set it up because maybe I'll just have Marco add to it. So part of when I was managing you, we would do these little like pop-up Marco events around the country and like we would come like do like a tiny version of like a Marco show. And so we did one in Mexico City and it was me, you, Marco, Willem, and I think that's it. Like it was like the end of it. Raja and like April Carrion had like left or something.
Yes.
And it was just me, you, Marco, and Willem, and we were like, we got to go to Frida's house. And I had already gone to Frida's before with Raja, so that's why she didn't go or something like that. And so we're there, and then what happened?
So we're there, and we're doing the tour, and I'm like looking around. I'm gagged. I am Mexican American, and I'm all about learning more about my Mexican heritage. So I was like on cloud 9. I also know that my drag mother Raja is obsessed with Frida Kahlo. So I looking around and I look under these stairs and there's pieces of the blue wall, like under the stairs. And I'm like, oh, bitch. And look over and either you had a bag or Willem had a bag.
I had a backpack on.
And I fucking 5-finger discounted that, honey. I stole a piece of the wall and I put it in the bag and we get back to the hotel and the next day we were leaving. I didn't have any room in my bag. And so Chanel had the piece of the wall in her bag. she forgot that it was in her carry-on and not her checked bag. So when she went through the carry-on, the alarm goes off. They're looking. They got agriculture coming over. Chanel almost didn't get through because of the Frida Kahlo wall, and so I never got to have that gift for Raja. But Chanel, like, what were you thinking?
Okay, the story goes like so much even crazier. Like when Marco adds to it, like I really thought it was going to be the end of our friendship because, like, when I tell you, first of all, I didn't have, when you like go into Mexico, they give you like the customs form. Remember, you accidentally took my customs form and I had yours. Yes. And like our and I have never in my career fucked up the customs form. And I don't think either had you. And like we accidentally like switched each other's. So when I got to the airport, I was already stressed that I didn't have that form and I was going to have to get a new one, but we couldn't get that form until we went through security first. And so when we went through security and and that color, like the Frida house is like, that's an iconic blue and we're in Mexico City. Like they knew. They must have been like, this fucking bitch.
Gotta take our culture.
Take our fucking culture. I'm like, it's for Raja. They took the blue and I watched them put it in a trash can. Like I was so mad. And then I ended up, Marco, long story short, I'm going to let him finish the story, but long story short, we ended up having to like stay the night in Mexico City in the airport hotel because we missed our flight. And it was all because of Frida's house, which is freaking nuts and a crazy story.
Never apologized for that. Sorry, Chanel.
You don't need to apologize. You didn't put gum in my hair. And I still told Detox it was okay. Like I still wasn't like, that really hurt. I was like, it's okay. I miss you. Wow. I mean, we really covered everything I wanted to talk about. And what I pretty much like wanted to just like get out of this was like how much you taught me about family and drag community and like kind of like you took me beyond the drag queen world. And I don't know if I would have done any of the stuff I did, like had I not been there, the night of Rhea Litre's secret gathering at the Onyx Hotel.
I know. Chanel, I just gotta say, I'm so proud of you. You are one fucking bad bitch. And you are so loyal and you're such a good friend. And like the beginning days of me being able to travel and do gigs, you were my HBIC and you always, took care of me. So I am so happy for you with this podcast because people are going to get to know who you really are. And they're going to be like, wow, that is why she shut up Chanel. So just keep on listening because there is more coming on Shut Up Chanel podcast.
Oh my God. Okay, wait, let's do a couple fuck, marry, kills while I have you towards the end because this will be fun. I'm going to do it on like previous guests I've had because it'll be funny. Okay, so fuck, marry, kill. Let's do Manila, Raja, Juju.
I'm killing Juju. I'm fucking Manila and I'm marrying my mother.
Okay, fucking Manila. I like it.
Heard some pretty good things about that.
Oh, okay.
I've heard some pretty great things about Manila Luzon.
Fuck, marry, kill. Vicky, Detox, Sonique.
Oh my God. I am marrying Vicky. I'm killing Detox and I'm fucking Sonique. Vicky looks like she gives great cuddles.
Great cuddles, like knows how to order, like she's a healer. She's a healer. You'll get healed.
Comes with biscuits.
Oh my God. You've also been like a godmother to my dog. What's next? You're just the best. And you're in a relationship. Are you in a relationship right now?
I'm in a relationship.
1 year, right?
1 year and a little bit over 1 month. And it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Isaiah.
Oh, happy birthday, Isaiah. You've got a gig tonight. You've got Make Out Mondays. What's going on tonight?
Bitch, okay, listen. You're reading this podcast. I don't care what week it is. I don't care what year it is, baby. You better make your way to Make Out Mondays at Rocco's. It is the Monday night staple. It is a midnight show. There is no cover. And I book a very inclusive show. So you're gonna meet everything from bio queens to drag kings, drag queens, queer recording artists. And I like to bring polished and newbies together so that the newbies can learn from the polished queens how to act and how to perform. And honestly, it's a dance party all fucking night. So please come on by. We also have happy hour prices all night. It is a Monday night, so we want to keep it cute for you.
I love it. And if you could give any advice to the newbies, like to these new kids, the new generation, what would your advice be?
If you were looking to be a drag queen or get into nightlife, the first thing you need to do is check your ego at the door. And you need to find the people that are already doing it, because your version of what you think should be done is probably different than what has to be done. And those are things that you can only learn from someone that has been there and done that. So if you're looking to be a queen, go find a queen. If you're looking to be a club promoter, go fucking schmooze up next to a club promoter and, and assist them, offer them help, and learn how to be the best you can be, because YouTube ain't cutting it, baby.
I love you so much. Let's end it with you telling me to shut up.
Shut up, Chanel. Oh
my God, that was so beautiful. I love you so much. Thank you for having me be a part of your family.
I love you, Chanel. You're the best sister ever.
I love you. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.